Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I'm going to have to stick a knife in Lawrence O'Donnell. So, Lawrence O'Donnell is having a conversation about Julian Assange, and he is magnificently misrepresenting what's taking place. So, I'm going to let you hear the conversation that Lawrence O'Donnell is having with these other beautiful people who he's talking to, and we could talk about it after, and I will let you read verbatim. You can read for yourself what they are actually talking about. So, this is Lawrence O'Donnell talking to some reporters from the Atlantic, misrepresenting information.
Declined to provide me with the full exchange of his communications with Wikileaks. So as of right now, it's kind of up in the air.
Natasha, the significance of your discoveries of WikiLeaks and Roger Stone.
Well, it just kind of undermines all of the assertions that Roger Stone made during the campaign that his communications with WikiLeaks and with Julian Assange took place primarily, if not exclusively, through a back channel. That was his main line of argument. He said, well, I never actually spoke to Assange or WikiLeaks directly. It was always through some kind of intermediary who he later identified as this radio host. But now we see that actually he was directly communicating with WikiLeaks on Twitter as in October of 2016.
And by the way, look at the bottom. I just want you to see the message. Roger Stone and WikiLeaks exchanged messages during the 2016 election. All right, let's keep going.
And after Trump won the election, the morning after, WikiLeaks messaged him and said, well, are you happy now? We're much freer to communicate. When I asked Stone about these messages, he said that the entirety of their communications, suggesting that there was actually more than just this exchange that I was provided, which is between October and November of 2016, would essentially exonerate him, would show that he had no knowledge, previous knowledge of any of the document dumps that WikiLeaks was going to release about John Podesta's emails or anything else. But he declined to provide me with the full exchange of his communications with WikiLeaks. So as of right now, it's kind of up in the air.
Roger Stone and WikiLeaks exchanged messages during the 2016 election. That's the bulk of what she's saying. These guys were in communications, even though they said they were communicating through back channels. It guts their story, etc., etc. Let's look at the communications that she's talking about. So this is Daily Mail, Daily Caller. Exclusive. Roger Stone's full WikiLeaks conversation and passport photos. Okay. Since I was all over national cable TV news, TV, cable, and print defending WikiLeaks and Assange against the claim that you're Russian agents and debunking the false charges of sexual assault as trumped up BS, you may want to re-examine the strategy of attacking me cordially. That's what Roger Stone said. WikiLeaks responds, we appreciate that. However, the false claims of association that are being used by the Democrats to undermine the impact of publications. Don't go there if you don't want us to correct you. Essentially saying, we have nothing to do with you and we're not affiliated with you. That's what WikiLeaks is saying. We don't have anything to do with you. Ha! The more you quote unquote correct me, the more people think you're lying. Your operation leaks like a sieve. You need to figure out who your friends are. Now, after November 9th, happy, we're now more free to communicate. For your information, while we continue to be unhappy about the false back channel claims, today CNN deliberately broke our off-the-record comments. If you remember, what the woman was talking about is, this is the conversation that this woman is talking about, that WikiLeaks and Roger Stone had communications during the 2016 election. The communications that they had during the 2016 election was, stop lying about us. Stop lying about us. That was the communication. They're presenting this as if there was this kind of conversation back and forth between Roger Stone and WikiLeaks. The conversation was literally, stop lying about us. And even pushing back against this idea that there was some kind of back channel. It was like, there is no back channel. It's stop lying about us unless you need us to actually correct you. Roger Stone's response to this was, well, every time you correct us, they think you're lying. Well, it sounded like he was lying. We appreciate that. However, the false claims of association are being used by Democrats to undermine the impact of our publications. Don't go there if you don't want us to correct you. You're lying about us. Stop lying about us. That was the communication. And let's take a look at what the woman was saying again, just so you can see it. I want you to have proper context from which to frame what these guys are saying. It's a short clip.
Assertions that Roger Stone made during the campaign that his communications with WikiLeaks and with Julian Assange took place primarily, if not exclusively, through a back channel. That was his main line of argument. He said, well, I never actually spoke to Assange or WikiLeaks directly. It was always through some kind of intermediary who he later identified as this radio host. But now we see that actually he was directly communicating with WikiLeaks on Twitter as in October of 2016. And after Trump won the election, the morning after.
And just so we're clear, that communication is stop lying about us. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop saying you have an association with us. That's what she's talking about. When she's saying that Roger Stone was communicating with WikiLeaks before the election or during the election, it's October. That communication was stop lying about us. Now, if you want to say that's communication, fair enough. And from a technical definition, I would imagine so, yes. One person is telling another person to go fuck themselves and stop doing something. So yeah, you could say that's some form of communication. Framing it as if they were some kind of collaboration going back and forth between them when literally what the conversation was stop lying about us. That's amazing. Let's let her finish.
WikiLeaks messaged him and said, well, are you happy now? We're much freer to communicate. When I asked Stone about these messages, he said that the entirety of their communications, suggesting that there was actually more than just this exchange that I was provided, which is between October and November of 2016, would essentially exonerate him, would show that he'd had no knowledge, previous knowledge of any of the document dumps that WikiLeaks was going to release about John Podesta's emails or anything else. But he declined to provide me with the full exchange of his communications with WikiLeaks. So as of right now, it's kind of up in the air.
I love Glenn Greenwald's response to this. He, right here. Yeah, right here. Greenwald is a lion. I've always said it. I'll continue to say it. It's astounding, but not surprising what the Atlantic did here. Took WikiLeaks Stone direct messages in which WikiLeaks told Stone to stop falsely claiming that they've been communicating and purposely depicting as the exact opposite. Evidence that they were plotting together. Right to NBC. Of course. Right to NBC. I don't know what that one means. And Chuck Ross. I don't know who Chuck Ross is.
Natasha.
But quite an omission here of what Roger Stone and WikiLeaks actually said in their secret exchanges. It wasn't about cooperation. WikiLeaks told them to stop falsely representing him as being falsely representing himself as being associated with the group. Oh man. I'm sorry, dude. I gotta do this.
Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it?
I don't know.
Where's the hammer? Is it on the, go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering. Stop the hammering.
I think it's going to be downstairs.
I'll go down to the goddamn floor myself and stop it. Keep the goddamn commercial break going. Call fucking Phil Griffin. I don't care who the fuck you have to call. Stop the hammering. Empty out the goddamn control room and find out where this is going on. It's either there or out there somewhere.
Here's the thing. He clearly has an inquisitive mind. He's like, stop the hammering. Somebody go downstairs. Somebody go up there. Somebody go over there. Find the hammering. Fix the goddamn hammering. Stop the hammering. Yeah, okay, dude. They're going to stop the hammering. They're trying to find the reason out for the hammering. In the same way that you want them to stop the hammering, I kind of don't want you to fuck up in this way. Lawrence O'Donnell, again, one of those people who were part of my political awakening during the Bush years. And I would hope this wasn't on purpose. I'm too cynical to believe so, however. So, massive fuck up in the sense of Lawrence O'Donnell. Massive fuck up by the Atlantic. Whether it was intentional or not, I'm not going to cast dark dispersions, but massive fuck up. That's not the conversation that that they had. And just so we're very clear, because of joking O'Donnell slightly on this. The bulk of the conversation between those two during the election, meaning Roger Stone and WikiLeaks, was stop saying that you're affiliated with our group. The Atlantic spins it as if these two are together, or that the communications between them was more substantial than what the communications were. I mean, mind you, saying stop communicating with us or stop saying that you're associated with us is not exactly communication, or at the very least is not the type of communication that she's trying to give the impression of. So yes, I'm going to be a cynical SOB and say the Atlantic is lying here, either massively incompetent or lying. I don't know which is true. I'm not going to make a choice on which. I leave that up to you. Let's see some more Donald.
The woman talking in my ear was talking about the Labor Day special repeatedly every time we went to a SOT. Yeah, what do you mean in the conversation? Not in the Bush SOT, no. Fucking out of control shit.
Talk about having a shitty day, man. That is not a good day. That is not a good day at all. He was flipping out. He was flipping out. Yeah, he was flipping out. That's fucked up. Well, one of the things that took place in that one, I'm going to close it on this now that I'm thinking about it. And yes, I'm joking Lawrence O'Donnell a little bit on this because I think they did that shit on purpose. Meaning, look, clearly they had a dog in the hunt. MSNBC had a clear choice on who they wanted in that particular election. If they believe that Julian Assange had any role at all in that woman losing, then am I going to be shocked that they're going to be try to hit Julian Assange in the knees or hit WikiLeaks in the knees if they think that they bear some responsibility in her running that horrible campaign? My issue here is not so much that they're going to take shots at WikiLeaks. My issue here is that they're being inaccurate in the way that they're taking shots at WikiLeaks. And they're giving across a story in a way that's disingenuous and dishonest. Like I said, it's either a massive amount of incompetence, meaning somebody didn't actually read the letter, or they're being duplicitous. You be the judge. So, yes, I'm joking Lawrence O'Donnell. And I know that's kind of out of the blue, but I had the video up. I thought the video was fucking hilarious. So, alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks, guys.